Howdy, we back. Just make sure I haven't got the music like super loud again this time. It's also super dark, it's raining again. What am I doing? Hold on. What am I doing? Sound is good. Sound is good. Everything is good. Hello. Welcome. We're doing something different today because I've set myself a rule that is I refuse to work on tile lands every day in the week because I feel like I want to break things up a little bit so I don't get burnt out and lost in the sauce, as it were. So something I'd like to do, because we're still figuring out details for our other project, Circuit Assault, which is the next major Steam game that we're going to release. I want to keep up some momentum with what I'm doing and have opted to attempt to make a like small cozy clicker game in like a month and just release it in some capacity depending on where it gets to. I'll either stick it on Steam or I'll just stick it on our Patreon page as one of the Patreon exclusive games, because we do those. If you didn't know, there's a link in the description. We haven't got any yet, but there's lots of little mini games that we're developing. So today I'm going to work on one of those kind of games. They're either going to end up on Steam the Steam page will exist in a month's time and then it will be like polish and release, or it'll go on Patreon as a full-fledged release game and maybe up on itch.io for like a $5 or something. So my idea for this game is literally just like super simple, tiny cozy gardening game where you have a garden and you grow plants and you sell plants, and it's that simple. And then you use the plants to buy seeds, which you also plant and water and grow. And you can use the coins to like buy tools that will automate the planting. So I imagine the process of growing a plant will be like you manually have to put water onto the plant, and then you manually have to get water out of a bucket or out of a well, and then you manually take that water and put it onto a plant, and then you like click the plant to make it grow, and then click the plant again to cut it down, and then click the flowers to sell the flowers. And it'll eventually be the case that you can buy things like a propagator, which will grow the plant automatically for you, and a irrigator that will water things for you, level those things up, buy different plant seeds that are worth more money, and basically like take that and combine it with something like Garden Galaxy, so you can like drag and drop stuff around in your own arrangement, and everything can look nice and cute and cozy, and we'll write some nice music, make some nice sound effects, nice art, and it should be good. So let's jump right into that, shall we? I'm gonna let my cat out first because he won't shut up. It's raining outside, so he's probably going to sit there on the windowsill and force me to let cold air into my house. Anyway, so what we're looking at here is I've got a completely fresh Unity project. Literally nothing fancy about it. The only thing that I've done is deleted the global volume that URP has by default in the sample scene, and I've created a folder for graphics and scripts. That's it. We have done nothing else. So we are literally starting everything from scratch. And oh, no way, the cat actually went outside. And I am feeling nice and cozy with I've like triple layered with a t-shirt and a hoodie and then an hoodie on top of that. So I'm proper cozy right now. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is my lovely little lighting hack, which I actually stole from the Sock Pop Collective, specifically Aaron, shout out Aaron from Sock Pop, where we have like a solid color in the background effectively, which for the time being I think we'll go with like a, I want like a quite warm feeling off-white, something around there I think is the right kind of vibe. A little bit more red than yellow, because I'm not really a fan of yellow, I'm not gonna lie. Something about it just makes me go anyway. So we do that, and then just to show off kind of how this works, the default Unity graphics look trash. So under environment in the lighting tab, what we do is instead of using the skybox as our environmental lighting source, we change it to a single color and we make that color white. I'm going to remove the skybox material as well because we don't need a skybox material. And then usually you create a custom cube map in here as well for the environment reflections, but we're not going to faff with that right now. And what that then lets us do is, instead of using the default PBR material shader, sorry, materials, making a folder, instead of using the default PBR shader, we're going to create a new material material, there we go, and I'll call this like example, and we're going to set the shader to universal render pipeline simple lit, plonk that onto our sphere that we've got here, and wow, look at that, it looks unlit, which is great. It's basically exactly what we want. So we can set the color on this and it kind of gives us a nice kind of pastel-y type approach. And usually there's some balancing we can do here, where if we set the ambient light to actually be like 90, and then the directional light that we've got in scene, although to be fair, I might just bin off the directional light. Or maybe I won't, maybe I'll keep it. We can just set the intensity to like 0.05 or 0.1. So we get like really subtle kind of soft shadowing or soft shading on our objects. And it just looks way nicer than what the default Unity environment would look like. And it, yeah, means we can like mess around with all sorts of different material colors and get this just really nice soft kind of finish. Yeah, let's go 0.2 because I think I want just a little bit extra shading on things. Cool. So my idea is that I want to have everything be like a physics object or have some physical interaction, so that we can, it's literally like a nice drag and drop type game. We're going to have to do some project setup because, like I said, I've literally done nothing here. So I'm going to go through and just import a bunch of packages that I would usually import. I'm going to start off. Can I zoom this somehow? I don't think I can. I apologize to those of you watching for how small my screen. I tell you what, let me... Oh no, because that's going to mess up the stream. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I apologize. Let's I'm going to update TextMesh Pro because for some reason it always defaults to like a really early version. And I definitely want to be using the latest version so I have all the nice features. And then from the Unity registry, I'm not going to start in the Unity registry actually, I'm going to start with my assets. And this is exactly how I would set up any project for like a production game as well. This is basically the exact same process I went through for setting up tile lands. I would like to import the modern UI pack because there's like a bunch of stuff in here that I like. The only thing that I'm not going to import from it is the example scene because I don't need that and I don't need the readme. But everything else is all nice utilities, so we'll go ahead and import that. very handy asset for just bootstrapping some placeholder UI or even final UI. Like a lot of the assets from this pack are in Tilelands, funnily enough. Which, if you don't know, Tilelands is our first commercial game, and by our, I mean mine, kinda, plus Adele, with some help from Alex and some outsourced for the sound design as well. But it's our first commercial game. Came out on the 1st of November. It's been played by Real Civil Engineer and Alexa on YouTube. It's available on Steam now, and we're currently working on a 2.0 update, which introduces like double the tiles and much quality of life, including controller support and official support for the Steam Deck. So there's a link in the description for that as well, if you want to check that out. I basically want to like capture some of the essence of Tilelands in this game as well. And just create something that's super cozy, non-consequential. You're just making like a nice garden, basically. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I think that's actually all I need from my assets, or my assets that I've purchased / obtained. I'm lying, of course. We're forgetting the most important asset, and that is the Odin Inspector, which we definitely want, because Odin just makes life so much easier for both default Unity behavior, but then also coding custom tooling as well. Yeah, it lets you serialize a whole bunch of extra stuff in the inspector. It lets you build custom inspectors really easily without having to make like a whole separate editor script. And then even when you do make a whole separate editor script, there's like loads of extra features in there that make building out those custom edits much more straightforward. It's, yeah, actually fantastic. So make sure we've got that imported. Cool. I think it will give me some setup stuff when that's done as well. Yeah, there we go. And I think that actually is everything now. We'll probably use some Kenny assets as placeholders when we get through. But for the time being, that's everything I want from there. And then the other things that I want, which are Unity packages, I want to import the Unity tile map editor. And I also want tile map extras as well, because we're going to use things like the game object brush and the grid. Because it's like, why would I not? It makes life so much easier having all of these components already coded for me, especially because they incorporate a lot of optimizations, which actually, now I say it, I want to test, because you can have game objects in the, like 3D objects in the 2D tile map, but I don't know if they'll still support all of their scripts and stuff, because they don't actually create a physical game object in the hierarchy. So we'll do some testing with that, probably is the first thing we do here. I also want Cinemachine, because why would I not make my life easier when I want to make camera controllers? And trying to think if there's anything else that I want that isn't the input system, because I always want to import the input system last because it requires restarting the editor. I think I'll install the recorder just so I can grab some clips for GIFs and stuff, post on socials, because you should always be posting on socials if you're an indie developer. Get that marketing in. I think that's probably it. We've got all shader graph and everything. Updated Text Mesh Pro. Same issue again. Literally every stream I've done this week, I kick off stream and I'm yawning. Maybe it's because I talk too much. Oh dear, that's quite funny. Right, let's get the input system imported, and then we can restart the editor and start doing some actual development. picking out some colors as well for how we want the game to look, which I think is probably going to be like a lot of nice kind of pastel-y colors for sure. Is that an advert on the music? Bruh. I think Unity's probably going to open on my other screen now. So, while this is doing its thing, let's talk a little bit about potential goals for what I'd like to get done today. I think mainly I want to get the kind of underlying systems for interacting with things sorted. So we might create just a generic interactable script which handles like what happens when you click on the thing and stuff like that. There's some other things that I want to import actually, which are kind of separate but kind of not, and that actually, now I think about it, we're probably gonna spend a lot of time working on this. So something that I have is what I like to call the Shiba core utils, which is basically a set of core scripts that I have for doing things like game feel, save systems, scene management, juice, etc, etc. Some useful extensions here, like I've got one for color, which lets me set the brightness of the color just by calling like color.setBrightness. We'll probably do some more as well, like color with alpha. Lots of fun stuff like that. Coroutines that also return values, because coroutines can't return values by default. So at the moment I'm working on making it so that you guys can have access to this core utils package via the Patreon. Again, link in description if you want to support the studio. And it will be released on the regular as I make changes to it, or anyone else on the development team makes changes to it. So part of that is moving everything into namespaces and making sure that everything is behaving properly. But part of that is then going through and like refactoring a whole bunch of stuff. Like I say, moving it into namespaces, changing class names so they make more sense. And yeah, there's a good part of that I haven't done yet. So we're gonna do that. Gonna move all my Spring controllers over into the core utils.animation namespace. And I'm gonna have to do this for all of them, I think, because they all inherit from this careful, core utils. They all inherit from this abstract Spring controller, which I won't go into any detail about how this works now, because I'm actually going to be posting a video about it tomorrow, which will go over a lot of the extensive use of this tool in Tilelands and how it makes, you know, interactive animations a whole bunch easier. But yeah, I will wait until tomorrow to do that, which will also be when this first version of the package will be available through the Patreon. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to keep an eye out for when that goes live. So I am going to just have to move all of these over into the core utils.animation namespace, so that we don't have these errors anymore. Namespace shiba.studios.coreutils.animation. Bang. Cool, we're done. And then there's like moving other things into their own namespaces as well. And you know, I'm actually doing this very wrong. What I should be doing is importing this as a GitHub repository, so that when I make changes in here, I can also then just push the changes, or maybe make a branch for any changes I make here, and that can then be PR'd into the main branch on our repository, but you know, we'll sort that later. Okay, let me think about how I want to start with this. So I would like to have the game be isometric, and I would like to have like some simple flat tiles that everything can be placed onto. I think if we start the player with like maybe a 3x3 grid, and then we can make it so that you can like either buy individual tiles or pay a flat fee to just increase the radius by 1, and that flat fee goes up each time. So tell you what, let me stop jumping around the place. Let's make a 2D tile map, which is going to be rectangular, and we're going to call this our grid. I don't think I even need to use a tile map actually, because I could just use the grid component on its own. I'm going to set the cell swizzle to XZY, because that means that it's going flat across instead of up the top. And you know, yeah, I'm being stupid. I don't need a tile map. We can just use the grid. Cell size can be 1 by 1 by 1. That's fine. We could add some gap between the cells as well, but I don't think I will for now. Yeah, I don't think I will for now. So I'm going to rename this grid to our placement grid. I'm going to delete our sphere because we don't need it, but I am going to create a new empty object, which I'm going to call like ground tile or something like that. Just reset the transform on this and add a cube. Which is going to be my graphics. I'm going to remove the box collider from this because I want it on the ground tile itself, and I'm going to give this a scale of, I don't know, maybe like 0.25 on the Y, and we'll move it down negative 0.125. So that way, if I select pivot as my central point for where I'm moving things from, we have our selection point is at the top of this cube, this square, which means whenever we spawn this in and place it at 0, 0, 0, or, you know, 0 on the y-axis, that surface is going to be perfectly flush with the floor. Let's make a ground tile material, plonk that on there. And, you know, maybe we could have this be a green. We're going to be fairly desaturated and possibly quite dark. Maybe not quite that dark. Something like that, perhaps? Could do something like that. I think that'll work. I'm also just going to put this to 4K real quick so that I have nice sharp edges. Now, here's where I have to make a decision on the camera setting. So I know I definitely want this game to be isometric. The question is, do I want to have an orthographic camera, just have everything perfectly flat, or do I want to use a really low field of view perspective camera? Something with like, yeah, 2.5, and then just have it really far away, because that does the same thing as isometric. Real quick, I'm going to just make a folder called prefabs, and I'm going to put my ground tile under it so that we can create a placement grid class and have that spawn our tiles across our grid. What am I doing? I'm creating an empty, which is going to be my camera target. And I'm going to reset that to 0. I'm going to create a virtual camera, which is going to be my, I'll just leave it as virtual camera for now. We're going to have it follow the camera target. And I'm going to create another empty under the camera target, which is going to be my camera look. And I'll have that be the look at. And then I think if we hard lock to target, I don't want to hard lock to target, do I? No, I want to transpose. Yeah, because then I can have it be like super far away on Z. I think we simple follow with world up. And then for the aim, I want hard look at. And that way we should be able to rotate this. Oh, I can never remember how this works. I want it to copy the rotation of my I want it to copy the rotation of my thingamajig. Maybe do I use a composer? No, it's not composer. Oh wait, can I just rotate the camera target? There's a way to do it like that, isn't there? But I don't really want to do that. Hello, hello. Thanks for stopping by. I need to much better get in the habit of like looking at the chat because I am really bad at paying attention. But welcome. Hope you enjoy the cozy vibes. I need to get my head in the game. POV, no, don't want to use POV, we tried that. Same as follow target. I don't want to use same as follow target. In my head, it feels like hard look at should be the correct thing. My cat is back. Oh gosh. Probably gonna not stop talking now. We'll see. Keep the fingers crossed. Right, I mean, we could... Whoops. Can we... It's probably the aim. Do nothing on the aim. Simple follow with world up. Lock to target. Lock to target with world up. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm not aiming. Why can I not change this X value? Bro, please. What's going on? There we go. Now I can change the X value. So yeah, we can do like that, but I don't really want to change the positions to change how things look. I would like to be able to just update the rotation. Or have it at least be, if I go 0, 0, let's do -200. It's going to be more like -500, really. Or maybe not. Maybe we can get, if I say the max field of view is 5, maybe 6, and then -250, -150, -175. That's probably going to be a good distance for our max zoom. And then if I just do lock to target and then rotate the target. Yes, there we go, there we go. That's doing things. Cool, 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 cool. So if I actually have this be my camera move handler, and then this can be the camera target, then I can have the camera target be the target. I don't need to look at anything. I don't think. And then if we rotate the camera target, stuff starts happening, but in the wrong axes, I guess? Not in the wrong axes, that's... What? Maybe I do need to look at. It's just hard look at. There we go, that's better. So yeah, we can set that to 45. And then we can control how vertical we want things. I think I probably want to be 34.5. Buddy, you just came inside. You don't want to go back out again. You just came in. Literally just a minute ago. He might chill, he might not. Cats, am I right? I already like the colours that I'm choosing here. This looks nice. I am gonna put in like a tiny cell gap of like 0.1. And this is gonna be really cool. Like, we can showcase the power of this grid component when we start writing some code to get this grid spawned in. I think I'm quite happy with this layout as well, because then when we zoom in to, yeah, 2.5. That's like the furthest in we can zoom, and then we can zoom out to 7 maybe. I think I can't offset the Y position, so what I likely want to do is just move the camera target up a little bit, and it will probably be by 0.25 or maybe 0.5. Just so it feels more central, because I think that there feels a bit more central than it does if you've just got it at 0. Sweet. Let's start writing some code, shall we? So I have this ground tile as a prefab. I'm going to add the box collider that we talked about, and we're going to just go ahead and map it the same. It's going to be a center of, oh well, it's going to be a height of 0.25 and a center of -0.125. And that means that it's nice and lined up with our actual ground element. Oh yeah, this will be good. We can have it so like you can till soil. and we'll have some different types, like blah, 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 I can't talk, different ground types, and things will be nice. I'm thinking something that will be really cool is if you can buy like clouds, we'll make a little rain cloud, and we can probably make a shader for it as well. And then you can just drag your rain cloud about the place and it'll lock to the tile that it needs to stand over and water plants automatically. I think that will be really satisfying. Cool, I'm going to delete that from the world, and I'm going to go to my scripts, and I'm going to create a new C# script which we'll call our placement grid manager, and we'll pop that open in Visual Studio. We are going to have a private grid component, which I'm also then going to have a require component on here for type of grid. Reason being, we're going to go into our awake and fetch that component using get component, and it's always a good practice when you're fetching components to make it so that that thing is required if you're not going to assign it in the inspector. Buddy, what's up? Look at him. Look at this dude. Say hi to the camera. Do you want to go back outside? Yeah? Okay. He's such a funny cat. A little weirdie. Right, so what we can do, I'm thinking if I have a... If we keep a private... I'm going to have it be a game object array for the time being. It's going to be two-dimensional. Do I want it to be... You know what? Ignore that for the time being. Let's have a serialized field private int, which I'm going to call grid radius. And that's going to be, you know, from the center to the outside, how many tiles do we want? So we'll also put a minimum value of 1 because we never want it to be smaller than that. And then in the start method we also need a serialized field private game object, and this is going to be our grid tile prefab. In start we can then do a for int x equals 0, x is less than grid radius and the same for y. And then I have to employ some brain power, because what I'd like to do is basically if yeah, if x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0, then we're just going to... Oh well, okay, let's do var... Yeah, here we go, I'm getting there. Vector2 pos1 equals new x and y, and then vector2 pos2 equals new negative x and negative y, and then we'll instantiate grid tile prefab at grid component dot get cell center world and we pass in, yeah, this is going to be a vector2 int pos1. Does it have to be a vector3 int? It does, okay. So we want to make sure it's a 0 on the y-axis, and then it will be x on x and y on z. Quaternion.identity, and then we can say if pos2 is not equal to pos1. We'll also do this for pos2. And in my head, that makes sense for then generating us a full grid. It would probably be easier if I just set like a, you know, a width and a height. And in fact, I will probably get to testing this, see that it doesn't work, and immediately revert to just doing that. And have it base itself around 0. So let's have a grid radius of 4. So that should then give us 4 tiles. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. And it is because I'm being a dingus. We've set the cell swizzle. So we can just pass in the X and Y instead of having to think about doing the conversions ourselves. But we are getting 2 tiles placed at 0, 0. And it's also not filling the whole grid, so I am for sure gonna just revert. Look at what is that? What is that? I mean, it is 4 on either side, I guess. So that's something. But, I mean, just to demonstrate what I was talking about, this is why it's so cool using the grid system. We've now got our, you know, we've got spacing between these tiles. And all the positions are set up correctly relative to our grid. And we didn't have to do any funky conversions in here. We're just, like, instantiating everything as if it was normal stuff. So, you know, really handy. Alright, let's just have an int grid size. Oops. And we can do x is less than grid size, y is less than grid size. I'm not going to faff around with any of this. I'm going to say x minus grid size over 2. And y minus grid size over 2. I think that's fine. The only problem is if we have an odd or an even grid size, we're going to run into issues of the grid being off center. So we'll just have to do let's do some on validate, and we'll say if grid size mod 2 is equal to 0, then it's even. So we'll say grid size minus minus just to make it odd. There we go. Good. So if I try to set it to like 6, it's just 5. Amazing. Boom, look at that. We got ourselves a grid. Lovely stuff. I think I actually kind of want to have my camera a little bit lower down. Because it's maybe a little bit high up for me right now. So I'm actually going to take our X and just crank it down to 30. Lovely stuff. This is where things are going to get super fun and games style. I'm going to go on my ground tile and I'm going to pop on my scale spring controller. I'm going to give it a frequency of 20, some damping of 0.4. The affected transform, we're going to open up this prefab, add ourself to the affected transform, and then the min scale vector is going to be 0, 0, 0, max is going to be 1, 1, 1. And I think we could probably do the same for position as well. And we'll fiddle about with some values here, but what we're going to do is make it so that when the tile is created, it kind of springs in, because that's always nice and fun. So max position, min position is going to be 0, 0, 0. Max position I'm going to set to like 0.25 on the y-axis only. Again, affected transform is itself. Actually, we probably just want to affect the graphics, not the thing itself, because we might also use these for some like position or some like mouse hover effects. So when you hover over a tile, maybe it springs up a little bit, kind of similar to how, again, I did in tile lands. Position frequency, let's set to something like 35. Actually, no, I will have this be a little bit lower. I'm probably going to want this at 35 with a damping of 0.6 and then the damping of 0.4 on the position, so it kind of bobs a little bit slower but scales up normally. Sweet. And then let's create a script called ground tile. Pop this on here. I'm going to have a private list of abstract scale controller, which we'll import from our namespace. Sorry, abstract spring controller. And this is going to be my spring effects. And you know what? I've changed my mind. We're going to have a position spring controller, position spring, and a scale spring controller, scale spring. We'll grab those both in a wake. Spring controller position, scale string, get component, scale, and then in awake, in start, sorry, we will say position spring dot set target position 1. Position spring dot ping 0. So what that will do is set the target position of our spring animator to be the max position, and then ping instantly sets the current position to 0. And we can do the same for the scale. So scale spring dot set target position 1, scale spring dot ping 0. And what we should get now, if I go back and press play, is we should see all of these tiles kind of spring in. Yeah, I forget that the graphics are, their scale actually needs to be 0.25, and the position needs to be negative 0.125. So I actually want to, the position's going to be a little bit harder. I think probably if we ping it to 1 and set the target to 0 and do the opposite for the scale, and just to kind of emphasize how the effect of this, let's take the frequency and just drop it. In both cases, we're going to set it to 10. And then it should be like really visible how sprungy this is. Yeah, look at that. Although it kind of looked like they were... Where are they scaling from? Let me set these frequencies up a little bit. I'll leave it at 0.25 for the position. Yeah, scale is all fine as well. What I would like to do is... I'm gonna add a I pointer enter handler and an I pointer exit handler. And all we're gonna do is just when we enter, let's do position spring dot set target position to, let's just go 1, and we'll do the scale set target spring position to maybe like 0.75. And then when we exit, we'll just reset them back to what they were before. So 0 and 1. And then we'll be able to actually see kind of what the effect of this is. I need to put a physics raycaster on the camera. And now we should be able to test this. Alas, my system ain't working. Do I need an event system? I think I need an event system. Event system. Place that with the input UI module. Nope, still not getting I pointer enter or anything working. Of course, it's because I haven't put the box collider on it. I swear we put a box collider on this. Oh, did I just not apply it? I bet that's what happened. Box collider. It's going to be 0.25 tool, negative 0.125 on the height. Now we should be working. Let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, there we go. Ooh, look at that. That would be it's kind of satisfying. But it is definitely scaling, like... It looks like it's scaling up and to the left. That's exactly what's happening. Why is that happening? I mean, that's peculiar. But it must have something to do with this. Yeah, that's very interesting. Unless I'm somehow I'm definitely scaling the graphics transform, and it scales locally. Is it going to be something with the position? That's exactly what it is. That should be 0. There we go. And let's go ahead and bump these values back up again. So we were, I think, 35 on the position and maybe 25 on the scale. It may well be 40 and 30 that we go to. We can play around with it, but I think that's going to be... That's almost too snappy, I think. Yeah, I think we can probably go a bit lower than that. So more like maybe 15 and 25. I think I can probably bring down the damping a little on the position as well. That position feels right, but the scale feels a little bit slow. I mean, that just on its own feels satisfying as hell. That is amazing. We're gonna go, ooh, not that much. 20 on the scale, damping 0.5. I'm maybe gonna set the frequency like a little bit higher on the position and just drop down the damping a little. So it's a hair smoother, and I'm also gonna drop down this max position as well. Not that like this is actually going to be a thing necessarily, because I imagine we probably don't want to have it that you select tiles, or when you hover over tiles they change size. It'll be for other things that we do that. But yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Because yeah, something interesting that we'll have here, if I just create a sphere again, plonk our example material on it. Let's move it here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Our grid is off center. Bionicle, hello. Good to see you. Not much to be fair. I was explaining at the start of the stream, I'm going to try and make a cozy game in a month because we're still figuring out some production stuff for Circuit Assault, which is our next game. And like I said in the last stream, I don't want to work on Tilelands every day. So I want to build just like a cute little isometric kind of idle clicker game. And so yeah, we're building out the system for that, which is cool. It's going pretty smooth. But I had put in something to make it such that a grid would not be offset, but it seems to be offset, even though it looks fine compared to the camera. Is my camera at 0, 0? It is. My camera is indeed at 0, 0. So how... Oh, I suppose... if we're looking at it from this angle... Anyway, what I was going to do was stick a rigid body on this ball, so we could see that when I hover here, the ball doesn't move as well, which is, you know, is not what we want. I've also thought I want to get this ambient occlusion in. Like if you look down in the game view here, you can see we have like this nice dynamic ambient occlusion going on, and it looks gorgeous. I love it, but we can't see it in the game view, and the reason is because the camera is so damn far away. So, you know, we have some options there. We could either update the universal pipeline render settings to have our fall off distance be like 5,000, or not. Oh, I guess. Or we bring the camera way closer and make it orthographic, which I think is probably going to be what we do. What am I doing? What am I doing? Main camera, orthographic. Volbist minor virtual camera. There it is. Body this like -10 again. -15. Let's go with. Oh yeah, look at that. Now we have this nice kind of almost clay-like vibe. Which I like it. I F with that. Yeah, that's nice. So I don't want to. Let's start doing some gubbins. I don't want to have my ground tiles do the position changing. I just want to scale them a little bit, and I'm actually going to set the scale to like 0.9 when you enter it instead of 0.75, because it's effectively 1-to-1. You know, if we've got 0 as the basic, the bottom end, and 1 as the top end, then yeah, maybe we could make it a little bit more extreme than that. Although I imagine it will probably be better if we go on our placement grid and change the cell gap back to 0, because I don't know actually if I'm feeling that. Yeah, now we kind of have this soft selection effect. Maybe we can make the scale a bit more extreme than that. Then maybe go 0.8. And then we can start making some actual physics stuff. Because what I would like to do is have a bucket. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's satisfying and springy. Boing. Yeah, so what I was saying in the first instance is if we have, we'll probably have like a bunch of different tile types, but I'm actually going to replace this graphics with an empty. Going to call that grass. That can go in here, and the graphics is, so the graphics is now going to be what we replace this with. It's at 0, 0, and it's got a scale of 1, 1. So position wise scale, we want to keep 1, 1, and then position wise we can have 0 on Y and 0.25. Like so. I'm going to take the grass, I'm going to scale it down to like 0.125. Whoop, not linked. Just on this axis, 0.1 in fact. Negative 0.05. And then I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call this dirt. Dirt, not dirt, dirt. Make it like 0.8. And then 0.15, which means it's going to be 0.075. Have I done that maths right? No, I haven't. I think I do just want to move it down all the way plus, so negative 0.2. Negative 0.175. There we go. So maybe go 0.9 instead of 0.8. maybe even 0.95. So it's like right on the cusp of being close. Let's give ourselves a dirt material. This is going to be grass. Let's get ourselves a nice, again, kind of pastel-y shade of dirt up in here. And then, boom, look at that. We've got little grass tiles that all sit next to each other. Nice. So, everything is going to work around clicking, or anything that is clickable. So actually, we don't even need to do anything particularly fancy. I think what I would like to do is have, just for preparation's sake, I'm going to have this placement grid be a singleton. So we're going to have private static placement grid manager s underscore instance, and then a public static placement grid manager instance. Just going to return s instance. And actually we can do some lazy instantiation here. We can say get if s instance equal to null, s instance equals new game object, give it a name, placement grid dot add component placement grid manager, and then we return s instance like so. Cool. We're probably also going to extract this code to its own method, public void generate grid. Let's call that from start instead. So I think we can probably get rid of this on validate, because it's just going to work. That'd be nice. Either way, I want the starting grid to be 3x3. And then we also want a way to place tiles onto, or place things onto a grid. So I don't know if we have some, like a basic class grid object, which, or like a tile object. So that we can create an object on a tile, but not have you be able to place stuff on tiles that already have a thing on them. That probably makes a lot of sense, actually. Let's go with that. Create C# script grid object, or not grid object, I said tile object, didn't I? Tile object. So I thought I could hear my cat. I don't think this is actually going to do all that much. trying to think. For now, I think it's probably not going to do anything. But what it does mean is we can have a public tile object occupying tile object. It's going to be get private set. And then we can have a public bool occupied, which returns occupying tile object is equal to null, or is not equal to null, sorry. Have a public void set occupying tile object. Takes a tile object, and we'll say occupying tile object equals object. Tile object. There we go. Like so. I think that makes sense. Let's create, or let's make a bucket. Gonna make a placeholder makeshift bucket with a cylinder, and this is gonna spit out our water. Bucket. Graphics. Let's grab one of our tiles as a reference. What am I doing? Prefabs, ground tile. Reset the bucket. Cool. I want it to be probably maybe 0.25. I think this kind of height is a good height. So if we go 0.25 and then move it up 0.25, that's like perfect bucket height, and we can make it 0.6 width and height, I guess. I've also, I think, where's our... Is my camera too far away still for... Oh, how did it end up back there again? Minus 15. 15. Orthographic. There we go. There we go. Let's make a material for our bucket. I don't think neon green is the right colour. We are going to have it be slightly blue and kind of grey, because that's sort of metal colour. We don't want to go too light because we're going to end up with bad contrast. And then, you know, because this is a placeholder, it's going to be water. Going to make it 0.5, 0.5. Doesn't really matter how thick it is. We're just going to move it up like a hair so that you can see it on top. And we'll have a placeholder water, which is probably going to be more like a neon blue. I mean, it won't be neon. We're going to... Ugh, that is hideous. Let's let's fix that, shall we? Yeah, something like that. Like a nice pastel-y... Contrast is one of the harder things to do, if you ask me. Like just making sure all the the colors are readable. I think that'll do for now. That'll do for now. Let's get rid of the capsule colliders on those. We're just going to go, everything's going to get a box collider, I think. And what we'll probably end up doing is having separate layers, like physics layers, for the interactable colliders and the actual world colliders. So interaction colliders won't be able to collide with each other or anything else for that matter. It will purely be for mouse detection. And then we can add separate colliders on their own objects, which actually control the physical position of the thing. But for now, it's at a box collider. It is going to be 0.5 tool. .25 up, not 25, 0.25 and 0.6 on our Y or X and Z, sorry. And there's a couple of ways that I could do handling the bucket. I could use my spring controller again, or I could have it just like programmatically do the thing. I think I will probably use the spring controller because it makes juice way easier. I'm also going to turn this into a prefab because we're going to reuse it in multiple places. This is going to be a tile object. So I'm getting distracted by Discord notifications. Sockpop have just announced that Stacklands is officially available on Nintendo Switch, so I know what I'm doing later. That'll be another game to try and get Dell into, I'm sure. Right, let's have the tile object keep track of what its tile is. So we'll have again public ground tile, occupying tile, which is going to be get private set, and we'll have a public void set occupied tile, occupied tile, occupied tile. Yeah, occupied tile. So we'll take in a ground tile, and that'll just occupied tile equals tile. Nice and easy. And then what we can do in our tile object, sorry, our ground tile, we can have like a public void create tile object on tile. So this will take in a tile object object to create. And yeah, we'll just say var object equals, or not var, we will use tile object, just explicit tile object new object equals instantiate object to create. We'll say object to create dot position transform dot position equals transform dot position, which actually, you know what, we can inline that, but lazy. And then we will set the occupying object to tile object, or the new object, sorry, And also when we do this, let's also say tile object.set occupied tile to this, just so we've got everything paired up nicely. Cool. Cool. I think everything should be working there. What I would like to do just to test this, let's add an eye pointer click handler. Whoops. And in that, I'm going to call create tile, or yeah, create object on tile, and we're going to have a prefab for this. We also want to make sure that we can't create an object on the tile if we're occupied, so let's add a little return on there. And you know what, we'll also do a debug.log because we haven't got anything that's particularly giving away that it's not allowing us to place on it. This tile is occupied. And I'm gonna be really cheeky and just public tile object bucket prefab like that, just so that we can use the bucket prefab as our test object. So what this will allow us to do is click on the tiles and it will create a bucket on the tile unless the tile is already occupied, in which case it won't let us create a bucket. So let's apply all of the overrides that we've got on the bucket, delete the bucket from the scene, also going to delete the ground tile, and on our ground tile we'll put our bucket in. There we go. And let's test. Nah, that's not quite right, is it? Bro, what? Huh. Everything's kind of backwards. And it's because we're not placing anything relative to the grid. So we still want to make sure we're using our stuff. Let's make this public and let's rename it to grid component. I think, can we make it read only? Or is that gonna... We cannot make it read only, so we'll just do a get private set on it, because that way on our tile object, grid tile, sorry, we can get our position as placement grid manager dot instance dot grid component dot world to cell transform dot position. That's world position to a cell position. I don't want to do that. I want to do cell to world for our grid position. Public vector2 int grid position. This is going to be get private set. We are going to have a public void set grid position. Vector2 int grid position. It's got to be vector3 int vector3 int grid position. And actually I don't even need to do that. I can just grid position equals grid position, and then back over in our placement grid, when we generate our grid, let's grab our new tile and say new tile dot set grid position. Have I got this as a grid tile? Ground tile. There we go. Yes. Ugh, cat's back again. Set grid position, and we will pass in our position. Cool. Now, I think that should fix everything.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match.
Right, let me find some different music, because ads are... We don't do those. Don't want adverts here. Back to the beginning. There we go. Can hear the rustling in the background. That's funny. Right, okay. Oh, the object. Oh, shoot. I need to reassign the ground tile. There we go. Huzzah. Huzzah. Bro, what is that? What is that? This is not correct. Now I'm confused, because when we're placing everything on the grid... Oh, of course. Wait. Right, this means it's not going to be centered around 0, 0 anymore, but just so I can verify what's going on here, because our grid position for our ground tiles should be lining up properly. Cell to world. Get cell center world. Guess the logical center coordinate of a grid cell in world space. That's probably what I want to be using, isn't it? What does cell to world? Converts a cell position to a world position. Maybe I would be able to use transform.position if I went this route. That's not where I put the bucket. It is saying that it's occupied though, so that's good. That's also not where I put the bucket. Bro, please, why? Set the transform.position equal to get cell center world of the position of this grid tile. So this is the same, it's the same thing I'm using here to place the tiles. me try something out real quick. I want to see if doing it all in the one line ends up giving us a different result, or if we're going to end up with still the same. Because if it's different, that's weird. I'd expect it to be the same. Oh, look at that, it's different. And those are going to appear on top. Yeah, great. Okay, so I don't... Why is it different? Why is it different if I do it here? Gets the logical center coordinate of a grid cell in world space. Here's where I need to learn about Unity's grid components. So I'm assuming the cell position is actually the bottom left corner of the cell. That makes a lot of sense. So then, yeah, get cell center world. Gets the logical, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I guess with this, I do still want them to be centered. That's correct. So the question then is, why are my buckets being created vertically, as if the swizzle was vertical instead of horizontally, like the tiles do when we're going through here? Because we're getting everything correct here. That's fine. Essentially the object, out of the position, pertaining to identity. Yeah, it's something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. Because yeah, those should not be, they shouldn't be getting placed along 0 on Z, because we're using the XZY swizzle. That swizzle really weird then. So yeah, why are we getting that? Why are we getting that? That doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. Let me test something. Okay. So the bucket's being placed at 0.5. So many add up. Ah, jeez. Let's print some stuff out. So we're gonna have grid position, grid position, and then world position. It's gonna be this. Although I have a feeling we're going to be like putting a lot more effort in than we need to, and we probably could just use transform.position in here again. And it was more to do with the fact that I was instantiating separate. Yeah, look at that. It's adding. It's adding 0.5 on the Y for some reason. I wonder what happens if we debug.log over here. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. It's because we're using this setup here. We want to say s instance equals this in awake. Adobe. Yeah, so what it was doing, let me clear this up just in case anyone's missed it. I have this lazy instantiation, i.e. if I make a call to instance and instance is null, it just creates me a new object. I was never setting instance equal to the thing that we've got in the game scene, so it was always just making a new object and using that as the reference for where we're placing the thing. I think now if we go back and test this, we should be in the money. Yes, we are in the money. It's just being weird because I've done this. Grid position. Right, final test. This should work now. Boom. Yes. There we go. And we can't place more on here because it's occupied. That one's occupied. That one's fine. Amazing. Good. Okay, okay. So I would also like to, let's add something else. If my tile is occupied, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the funky stuff. And then I think what I would like to do is set up some click and drag on the tile objects. So we're going to have eye pointer, drag handler. Wait, that's no, that's not what I wanted. Is it just iDrag handler? I guess so. Now there's a lot of these. Yeah, there's the begin drag, end drag, drop. So, the way that these work, I think the begin drag is when you, like when the mouse starts moving while you're clicking and dragging on the thing. And that's if, like, so if I was already holding the object and then I start dragging again, it would still fire off begin drag. Same with end drag, it's when you stop moving the mouse while you're still holding the mouse button. Drop is when you let go of the mouse button at the end of the drag. And I guess the drag handler is just like generic. Let's have a look at the difference between begin drag and on drag. So I'm going to say debug.log beginning drag and debug.log ending drag. Not ending drag, sorry. Just dragging. And then we can test and see how this looks with our bucket. Le boucher. I don't think that's how you say bucket in French. We got any French speakers in the chat that can inform me if that's how you say bucket in French? Bucket. Yeah, okay, so dragging is constantly while I drag, and then I stop. I'm still holding down the mouse button. Okay, so begin drag hasn't fired off again. It's only, like, while I'm dragging the object it does the thing. Cool, that's fine. And then I can start another drag and it fires off again. So which ones do I want? I probably want... I'm trying to decide if I want to use pointer down and pointer up, or if I want to use drag and... or like begin drag and end drag to pick objects up or not. I think using I pointer down would be better for actually when we pick the object up, because it's going to be more responsive. So let's do that. I pointer down handler, and then we want I end drag handler and I pointer up handler. We'll have a private ball dragged equals false, so that we can check the behavior that we need to do at any situation. So on end drag, we will say dragged equals false. I think I am going to use a spring controller for this. Let's have a private serialized field, private spring controller. It's going to be a position spring. And this is going to be my drag spring. I'm potentially realizing some issues with this. I don't think I want No, I don't want to. I don't want to use a position spring. I would like to use. I mean, probably probably just a float spring. Do I have a float spring? I don't. Let's make one. Because what I'd like to do, I'm going to add pointer drag handler. Sorry, drag handler. Consistency in naming, as always. And so, when I put the pointer down, we're going to lift the object. When I pull the pointer up, let go of the button, check if we were dragged. Check if we were dragged. Do I want to check if we were dragged and then do things? I need to think about where, like where I think of how to do stuff. You know what? I think we could probably just use end dragged. We don't need to use pointer up. Not for the time being, anyway. Oh, I've just thought of a bug that's going to come up in the ground tile over here. We want to make sure we do a null check on the tile object. If tile object is not equal to null, then we want to set the occupied tile. Do a trading vid. What kind of trading? What do you mean? Insert Jennifer Lawrence here. The you know, what do you mean? Meme. On pointer down, we lift the object, and then maybe we say occupied tile equals, or set occupied tile. Occupied tile dot set occupying tile object null. So we're going to remove this object from the tile when we pick it up. And then on drag, for now, I'm just going to say transform dot position equals event data dot world position. Deprecated. What's replaced that? Oh, my chat bubbles are working. That's amazing. I haven't been paying attention, but I've just seen that it is in fact doing the thing. Nice. Let's have a look here. Unity, what is it? Pointer event data. Get world position. Way old documentation. I mean, I don't really want to use pointer press raycast. I don't think I need to. I think I can just say camera dot. Oh wait, no, it'll be screen dot screen to world point. Event data dot position. And then when we end the drag, we're going to say var drop position equals this. And then we can say var tile equals and this is where my 2D array would come in handy, because I can just do I could just do like grid manager dot or grid manager x y dot position. Let's just do a debug.log of what that will be. Drop position. Whoops. And this is going to be placement grid manager dot instance dot grid dot, and I will use cell to world. Or not cell to world, sorry, world to cell. Of drop position. And you know what we can probably do to add in a bunch of smoothing is use a smooth damp function. Whoa, okay. Drop position is 11, negative 11, negative 9, 0. That's definitely not correct. Where did my bucket go? Bro, why are you up here? Maybe I do need to use the ray then. Ugh, that's annoying. I don't want the result. I just want the raycast. I guess we're gonna have to do, yeah, we're gonna have to do it. Right, let's make a public. Oh, I guess it can be private. Private plane XY plane. Oh my gosh, can't type. Plane. And then on a wake, we'll say XY plane equals new plane. How does this work? In normal. So it's going to be vector2 dot up 0. And then we can say var ray equals new ray. Event data dot position. Wait. Viewport point to ray. That's going to be event data dot position. No, not pointer click position. And then we can do XY plane dot raycast ray out. Don't need when it enters. Put this in an if. No, that's not what I want to do. Let me pull up some of my old scripts real quick. I can refer back to this. We are going to desktop, Unity projects, tile game, asset. I deleted the player. Date modify, player input controller. Let's have a look at this. Again, I apologize, it's very small, but it does have the code in it that I need, which is no, it doesn't have the code that I need. What's something that's got the code that I need? Great Christmas Toy Machine. We're going to look at Unity DevOps because I got some source code up here. Unless I've got the Great Christmas Toy Machine locally. I don't think I do, but oh my gosh, I do. Fantastic. And the scripts, drag object. Here we go, we basically need this. Tell you what, yeah, let's do this proper. Private camera equals camera.main. This is our XY plane. Not going to mess with that for the time being. We're not going to mess with drag position. World pos equals that. We're just going to say transform.position equals world pos. And then we'll test this, and then I'll have to wrap up because I'm heading out. There's a bucket. I can drag and drop my bucket. Great. Drop position, -10, -10, -10. That's not right. And it's because I'm still doing the wrong kind of thing. And you know what? Because we're now using this stuff, we can actually just get the thing that we hit. So rather than XYZ, we can just do physics dot raycast. We're going to take in the ray, we're going to out var info, and then we can say if info dot game object. Wait, what does info give us? Collider dot game object dot try get component grid tile ground tile out var tile. We say transform dot position equals placement grid manager dot instance dot grid component dot cell to world tile dot grid position. And now we should get some snapping. And yet we get nada, and the reason is exactly because we are hitting the bucket. Rather than the tile. Gosh darn. Da -da 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 -da. I mean, I guess I can create a layer mask. But I don't really want to create a layer mask to do it. I feel like it should be a little bit more sensible than that. And I mean, realistically, it will be okay. Real speedy. Let's make a private vector 3 target position. Private vector 3 position. Smooth ref, private float, smooth speed, and then we'll just have an update that says transform dot position equals math f dot smooth damp. Sorry, vector 3 dot smooth damp. Transform dot position. Target position, ref, position smooth ref, smooth speed. And then rather than updating transform dot position, we can just say target position, target position, and then we can do beta 3 dot up multiplied by, like, I don't know, 0.5 just to get it off the ground. Because that'll get it out the way. It's definitely not the right kind of workaround. I also realised that I probably won't be able to use... Oh. Nice, that's kind of working. I don't want to use cell to world, I want to use get cell center world, and I also want to actually set some smooth speed on this thing. You know what, maybe smooth speed can be static, so it's constant for everything, and we'll just set this to like 0.125 or 0.2. Let's go 0.2, so there's like a little bit of smoothing. Bang, bucket. There we go, look at that. I mean, that's quite nice. That is quite nice. So now we have dragging and dropping, and it, I think, yeah, it won't let us place down the bucket on an occupied tile. Oh, look at that. Cool. Alright, well, that's as good a place as any to end the stream. I might be back tomorrow. I'm honestly not sure. Like I say, it's a bank holiday in the UK for Good Friday. nice long 4-day weekend, which is nice. So if I'm not back tomorrow, odds are I'll be back on Tuesday, potentially Monday. We'll see how we go. If you want to find out, make sure you join the Discord server, link down in the description, because we announce all the videos that come out there. If you haven't already and you enjoyed the stream, make sure to subscribe to also get notified when I go live. And with that, thank you very much everyone for coming. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.